running a business is a tough and lonely journey. Welcome to the Executives on the Front Lines podcast, where business owners and C-suite executives like you will get real answers to your everyday business problems. I'm your host, Jeff Palacio, and together we will learn from senior leaders who have occupied every top box of a company's org chart for every size organization and who like to roll up their sleeves while checking their egos at the door. Welcome to Executives on the Front Lines podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Palacio, and I'm very excited about not only our guest today, but our topic. So we're about a month away from the start of the 2024 Major League Baseball season, and how appropriate that we're going to talk about curveballs and how small to mid-sized businesses get thrown curveballs. So first of all, I'd like to welcome our expert guest today, Mark Durham. Mark, welcome.
Hey, thanks, Jeff. It's great to be here.
Yeah, Mark's coming from the home of many spring training baseball teams out in the Phoenix, Scottsdale area. So I'm sure you probably catch a few games every now and then, right?
Well, we used to, but even now, the last couple of years, spring training games are not cheap. Even those lawn seats that used to be, you could go for, $8 or $10, or going for, $50, $60, $70. It's unbelievable. So they're not inexpensive games to go to.
Wow.
And you get to the game and you hope to see some of the major league players, they'll play for 3 or 4 innings, and then you get the players that have, number 98, number 99, or players with no numbers at all.
Yeah, I remember going a while back, years ago, probably late 80s, to the Cubs spring training in Hohokam Park.
Yeah, Hohokam, yeah.
Yeah, it was very cheap. It was fun. Anyhow,
okay, they're fun.
So speaking about baseball, Mark,
Yeah.
what kind of curveballs are you seeing businesses getting thrown at today?
Well, there's a bunch of them, but when you think about the baseball and spring training, and we're in Arizona, but I happen to be a Phillies fan, so I'm a diehard Phillies fan. They're in Clearwater, Florida, not out here. But even good batters strike out. When they get that nasty slider that ends up in the dirt, when they're expecting a fastball, and business owners, can get that unexpected curve, that unexpected adverse situation. It doesn't happen often, fortunately, but and some frankly don't experience it at all. But when something like that happens, it can really put a full stop on your business as usual. So
Yeah, what kind of examples of curveballs, like business examples? What's happening?
Well, there are a couple things that business owners get. I'll give you an example. I was referred to a business several years ago, a wonderful mom and pop business, and they were very successful. They've been in business for, I think, over 10 years. When they got a curve. They've been using a line of credit for a long time. They've been making payments for years, no problems at all. And they frequently paid the line down. But from time to time, they use this line of credit to fund their payroll. Well, guess what? The bank, which is still a household name bank that we all would know, cut the line. They cut it unexpectedly. There were covenant problems, and these poor folks were in over their heads. Maybe another. How about learning that one of your best customers just left for someone else? You thought everything was okay. There were no problems, and your team never indicated there was any problem, particularly the team member who was responsible for that account. They left. You thought they were safe. They were a long-term valued customer, but maybe not. Or maybe just one more. you see a competitor just introduced a new service offering, far superior and less expensive than your comparable service offering. And you never saw that coming. So what do when you get that curveball? Well, uh, we've all been in situations where bad things happen. So what business owners, maybe maybe they want to assemble their team in the conference room. Get in here now and let's talk about this, discuss what's happening. That could be and is an interesting meeting when you have those things happen. That happens. It happens frequently. That's what typically a business owner would do. Get this team together. So that's I think what I see business happening to businesses. But frankly, Jeff, it can be any situation that is unique, that is new.
Yeah, I'm surprised the amount of businesses, and these could even be fairly large businesses, but definitely on the small to mid-size company level, that they don't even know their biggest customers and what percent of the company revenue they are sometimes. And when you don't have contingency plans, as well as kind of what happens if my largest customer leaves, what do I do? And or even being proactive with that, saying, okay, our largest customer is, 55% of our annual revenue. We need to mitigate that and go out and find other customers. Do you see examples like that a lot?
Yeah, that happens, and it's businesses facing new issues like that, or these new circumstances that happen from time to time, have that curveball thrown at them when they expect that fastball. I think to your point, uh, sometimes can be applicable to, I'll say, the younger businesses. Ones that have experienced really some really good success and good growth, but then suddenly out of the blue, something unexpected hits them. Now, they may have a very good team, but sometimes, that business owner and the team just may not have that experience level to, to address that situation that's happened. They've never done it before. They have a good team. They just lack some experience. And I think sometimes with that lack of experience, that lack of breadth of experience, businesses can become and teams can become a little complacent when things are going well. They don't necessarily think about what you addressed. The high concentration of a couple of customers in their business mix.
How does a business owner, CEO know, like, the warning signs and what to do about it? Like, okay, I got a problem. I just got, this loan covenant came in. Lost my biggest customer. The competitor did something we were never expecting, or at least not in the next 3 years. It's like, okay, now you look around, you're the CEO, you're like, what should I do? Because I have the same players, the same, team members. What's their thought process, and how would you address that?
And you spoke about the team, and I think many teams, matter of fact, most all the teams that I've worked with business over the years, they're good people. They're smart people. They're well-meaning. They're intelligent. They're hardworking. So that is typically not a problem. That's always good. So warning signs sometimes just don't happen. There are no warnings. And then what happens? Well, that's when sometimes panic ensues. Well, the first thing when something like that happens is don't panic. And and I think all of us would tend to probably panic when something like that happens. But it's best not to be reactionary. I know many of us would tend to be reactionary when something unexpected out of the blue hits them. What I recommend and what I think we see is you want to seek guidance. Don't be too proud. Um, reach out to a trusted advisor. And when you have a situation like this, a business owner has a choice. They can either, I'll say, encourage the responsible manager or the responsible team member to fix the problem. Uh, and like fix it right now. Don't go home until it gets fixed. Uh, uh, or they could realize that sometimes outside advice and wisdom is really needed to be helpful. And if you think about it realistically, an inexperienced team or an inexperienced team member, no matter how hardworking they are, no matter how diligent, no matter how well-meaning they are probably not likely to solve a problem that happened on their watch. Um, uh, if they were capable, or if they had more experience, if they just had a little bit more of the, been there, done that, the problem may not have happened in the first place. So asking someone to fix a problem is probably an exercise in missing the point.
Yeah, because they can't solve the problem that they created sometimes because they don't have the knowledge to how to solve it, right?
Yeah, they're not aware of their circumstances, what's going on, and then asking them to go in and fix it. Yeah, some may, clearly, smart people can solve problems, but in a situation that's very, it's an adverse situation where a business is put in a, very difficult position, particularly something that's got to be addressed right away, asking that individual or that team to address that problem, is problematic for sure. So, really good business owners, I think, when they're faced with something that's, out of their area of confidence, and confidence and expertise, they get help. Now, for many business owners, I think this is a very difficult thing to do because they're really admitting that they have a problem they can't handle. And that's not easy and it's not comfortable for them. And now, we've all met over the years, that I'll say, quote, smartest person in the room, unquote. You know, uh, these people are, I think they're pretty easy to recognize, and they, in so many words, tell you that they're the smartest person in the room. Um, Sometimes, business owners that do exhibit that, um, they may seek help, but they really don't care what you think. And if I see a situation like this, I would tend just to let that smartest person in the room be the smartest person in the room and kind of wish him well. But I think the kind of the wise business owners, they call in the pros from Dover. Remember the pros from Dover?
It's from MASH, right?
Nash, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the term came from, and it was a description of the way Hawkeye he would con his way onto fancy golf courses by claiming he was a pro from Dover, and and now that term has morphed and has really become to mean bringing in consultants that have specialized expertise. So and I think that's really what's important for a business owner to recognize. Look, yeah, it's a tough situation. They really do need to, not panic, figure out, what's going on, and really see if bringing in some outside help, some fresh eyes, some trusted advisors would make a lot of sense for them.
So, Mark, for these wise business owners, what are some key takeaways you want to give them?
I think there are two things, and I think it's pretty simple. One, help from a seasoned pro not only provides relief from a current nightmare, but will also provide some training to help develop your team. You have a good team. Let's make them better. But if that situation has identified some gaps in your team, some gaps in the knowledge base, you may need to be may need to address that as well. And second, establish some really good, trusted advisors in your network. Tag these people as your go-to people. The best go-to people, I think, are those really trusted, I'll say, senior executives that can provide that fresh eye, that fresh look, to help you face these really difficult business challenges. And if you take that approach, you just need to be prepared with that network of advisors to be able to help you do that, because more than likely you're going to get a curveball. And I think many businesses get curveballs where they can handle, but some get curveballs that are really difficult. So you just got to be prepared to handle them.
Mark, thanks so much for being on Executives on the Front Lines podcast. You're a great guest, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Executives on the Front Lines. If you are interested in learning more about today's guest, you can schedule a 15-minute call with them by scanning the QR code or using the link in the episode description. Please join me every 2 weeks to learn from another great leader sharing insight that can help you and your business.